Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a message for the sign of Pisces. Pisces, my messages are timeless, so when you see them is when you're meant to hear them. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, please don't forget to hit the post notification bell so you can get alerts when my videos are posted. Pisces, if you're new to my platform, welcome. Please hit that subscription button. It would totally mean the world to me. O cosmic creator, source of all life and light, you are my shepherd, guiding me through every valley, every shadow. I lack nothing, for you lead me beside the still waters and restore my soul. In your presence I find peace and strength, for you're with me always. Your rod and staff comfort me, and your love prepares the path before me, even in the face of adversity. Grant me the serenity to embrace what I cannot change, courage to change what is within my power, and the wisdom to discern the difference as I walk each day in faith. In the presence of your infinite grace, I'm unafraid, for your kingdom flows through me as it does all creation. With deep gratitude, I give thanks for the miracles already set in motion in my life. Shift what must be shifted, move what needs to be moved, and illuminate my path with your divine light. Align my heart, my actions, and my soul with your will, for I know you have already provided the blessings and guidance that I need. I release all fear and I surrender fully to your higher wisdom. May your goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life as I dwell in your sacred presence, now and forever. Pisces, the assignment they never told you about, and you can't quit. You out evolve their illusion. Mm-mm-mm. Welcome, 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 everyone. Happy Monday, happy Monday. So many awakened souls work in silence, not on a stage, not in a crowd, but in the still places where light is most needed. You stabilize energy grids every time you breathe peace into chaos. Every time you choose prayer over panic. Every time your art brings beauty to the weary heart. You don't always see the ripples you create, but the universe does. Each quiet act of compassion recalibrates the collective field. Each moment you remain centered when others collapse into fear. You become an anchor point for balance on this planet. This is why it's called the assignment you can't quit, because it's not a job, it's your frequency. It's the light your soul is promised to hold long before you took this form. Even when you doubt your impact, your presence is doing the work. You are rethreading harmony through humanity. One breath, one word, one gentle vibration at a time. So stay steady, stay luminous. You're being seen. You are the architecture of peace, shaping the collective frequency from the inside out. So many awakened souls, people coming into or people coming online. So hello, 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 everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So we have a couple affirmations um, here. You're not walking away. You're vibrating beyond where that illusion can reach you. So something about elevation. I was writing down stuff earlier today, and it was something about um, date and information is being erased. Like, the feeling that I was getting was like somebody shredding documents or shredding paperwork or trying to, scrub something. But meanwhile, we already know that's going on anyway. But I feel like somebody trying to cover their tracks. And then it was saying something about, but who's keeping the score? Explain why. Oh, they said, explain why the bloodlines are mixed up again. So, hey, spiritual blessed queen, welcome. Thank you for being here. Majestic Grace, hi, I love you. Thank you for being here. Y'all remember when we talked about how um, lineages and when the pharaohs and the kings and the queens and all of that stuff, right? Way back in the day before there was DNA tracing and some other stuff. All right, and so this is allegedly, and it's also a script for a movie. Okay, so take it how it resonates. um when DNA came out, they just started testing what they thought they knew was. All right, so they may have said that this sarcophagus or this mummy or this da 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 belonged to king whoever, okay, or queen whoever. So they would take the DNA from whoever that was because that's who they labeled that as, and then they would try to trace the bloodlines to, whoever, current DNA or whatever. Meanwhile, if that it really wasn't whoever it was and that's the label that got put on it, then it would be deemed that the person that was DNA tested wasn't the person. So also those people are not a part of the bloodline, because remember I told y'all, and y'all don't see that in numerous amounts of movies, we don't know who was doing what. It's all speculation, right? So they can say this person was married to this person and this person has the same bloodline, so they can possibly, get it to who is related to who right now, I'm guessing, because they would be able to say tie this person to this person, but they wouldn't be able to tie whoever that person was from the very, very beginning. All right, so take it how it resonates. And remember how, like, the kings and the queens, people get a little sneaky freaky sometimes, and people had multiple da 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 da. So it would be a lot of stuff happening. Right. Yes, we don't know. But see, this is the difference between. Remember when I said, soon as it, from my mouth to God's ears, right? From my thoughts to heaven, right? Or from my thoughts to, the creator, or, God, whatever it is y'all discussing, right? Because everybody gets a little sensitive. And I don't know why we're feeling sensitive right now about the placement. Anyway, the record keeping in heaven is flawless. So in heaven, when the sneaky freaky went down in the, horse stables, or, wherever the hell, in the barn or around the corner, around the block or whatever, whenever it was happening, the actual factual bloodline lineage got written down in heaven, right? So their records are flawless, and here they're flawed. I mean, it makes sense, but in theory, then somebody else would say, that's not how it went, this, then, a third. But how do you know? Mind you, we are already seeing how everything is, trying to come full circle and expose itself. Like, the universe is exposing itself. Like, here, show all my goods. Take it how it resonates. You didn't leave, you graduated. You didn't reject, you remembered. You didn't abandon, you ascended. So you and someone else close once shared the same energetic landscape, the same loop, story, or illusion. Maybe it was built on love, validation, control, or the unhealed need to, feel like something was real because it was at the time, or, it just felt like that. Until your soul reached the point where illusions could no longer sustain your truth. So this was actually written on the post wall the other day. So if you want to know where this is at and where you can find a piece of it or a copy of it, it's actually on the post wall. um, then your consciousness began to rise. You started seeing through what others still believed in. The mask fell off. The spell broke. What was once magnetic now feels heavy, and what once made sense begins to dissolve in the light of awareness. So everybody's not having the same timeline, which is still very apparent. People are where they are. So again, whereas they would normally say people are here or people are here, no, everybody's here because everybody is seeing the same, version of whatever's happening. All the timelines merging, everybody can see everybody, everything. Like I said, the universe said, let me pull my skirt up. Fuck it. You can see everything, all the goods. And these people can still see these people, and these people can still see these people. And although these people may think they're doing better than these people, and they could potentially be doing better than these people, the thing is, these people have a resilience that these people don't have. So when the tables flip and the tables turn, these people don't know how to take where these people already considered to be normal. So it's almost like, I don't want to say this the way I hear it because it's very, very rude, and that's not what I want to portray or give off. So I'm going to say it anyway, but I don't know what else to say because it said it's like the trash takes itself out. So I didn't really want to say that, but that's what I heard. So they're still inside an old dream, believing power equals control, and love means possession. Um, it's been a lot heavy on the love perspective running around here because I feel like there's a thin line between love and condition to think that this is love. And if I'm correct, and I feel like I am, then that means that a lot of y'all ain't never had real love ever before anyway, because you was conditioned to think that it was this. Meanwhile, it was really this. And who am I? Because, I'm not saying nothing, but that's the way it makes me feel. Because if we all grow up and now we all feeling like, and I'm going to just say y'all because I felt that way, but I kind of, you know, feel like people should be held accountable for their own shit. But when everybody went through that phase of, childhood trauma and this, that, and the third, that would automatically make me feel like, that is the blaming of whatever these people did. But also, I can remember as a child looking at grown ass adults and saying, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to be like them. So, in my mind, that means that even as a child, there was some type of reasoning between right and wrong. Although I grew up and did probably all the shit that they was doing anyway, so that's neither here nor there. But the fact of the matter is I still remember saying it. So take it how it resonates. I mean, for real. She said that's real though. I mean, that's 110. Like, if we being honest, it's like the things that I say. Like, sometimes we know certain shit, may feel right or wrong or maybe neutral at the time, but we still do it. So, I mean, I ain't out here judging nobody for doing nothing. All I'm trying to figure out is, once we spot these situations and these loops and these cycles, how do we jump ship? Because again, it's like playing double dutch. It's a very fine rhythm, you heard them, and frequency to be able to get in that rope without getting your head tore the fuck up. Because if you know them real double dutch ropes from back in the day, they be made of like, what is it, the hanging, the clothes hanging line, and that shit wear your ass out, give you all types of whelps and whatnot, and ain't nobody got time for that. So you got to get your rhythm just right to get in, and they be going off fast too. So yeah, it's dangerous out here in these streets. You got to get in where you fit in, get the rhythm, and then hop on in that thing. All right, and who's to tell you when the rhythm is right? Because just because somebody else's rhythm feels right, like, oh, I can hop in there, I can hop into the rat race. You may go off day signal and it may not go right. Either way, take it how it resonates. You're not walking away. You're vibrating beyond where the illusion can reach you because you ain't got time for that. Excuse me. There's better things to do in the universe, I promise you, okay? So, the assignment that they never told you about and you can't quit. In a soul contract, you agreed to this, that, the third before you incarnated. The invisible purpose beyond every lesson, every heartbreak, every waking moment, every, like, what the fuck is this? And how did this happen? I be wondering sometimes, y'all, because I be thinking if this shit is true, ain't no damn way. I clearly didn't read the fine print. Because ain't no damn way. But, that would also go to, say that's what I get even right now. Because I promise you, even when stuff comes up, even to this day, like, how, like, they give you, this is the new terms of service. Do y'all read that shit? Meanwhile, we over here just signing away all types of shit because who the hell is reading that? You just scroll the fuck up, hit the link because everybody want to just go. Meanwhile, we should definitely be reading the fine print because this is how the soul contracts, happen, and then you end up tied to old Willie Joe or Willie Jean over there, and then you be like, God, you mean to tell me this is what I signed up for? This is what I came here for? You got to be shitting me. There has to be so much more. Like, there's no other planets that you could have sent me to. Meanwhile, this one is great. It's just that there's some people around here you just need to take with you. Please get them. You know? So transmute the illusion into wisdom. Every time you saw through manipulation, control, or false love, you were doing your assignment. You weren't being punished. Now, how many people, when they say, "Oh, you're the black sheep of the family," and all of y'all will say like, they've been using me from the time I was little. I mean, it's all the same story. I ain't laughing because you know what I'm saying, I'm here with y'all. So just understand. This is the collective group. I'm here with y'all. But just think about all the times when we was like, we should have said something, we should have checked the hoe. No matter who it was at the time. But meanwhile, we was being nice because this is what we do. Or we wait too long and then now it done boiled over and now they looking at us like we crazy. Whatever side we took or whatever, happened at the time, okay? So take it how it resonates. But every time you saw through manipulation, control, or false love, you were doing your assignment. You weren't being punished. You were activating discernment. So holding on to love in a world that fears it. Man. Now, that's an assignment for your ass, right? Pisces energy is here to teach unconditional love. Not the soft kind that gets walked over, but the kind that sees everything and still chooses grace. This is where we always say, y'all see my whole face just, see what I'm saying? That body language, right? And y'all see my whole face just scrunched up because, again, love is easy. People make it hard, right? Life is easy. People make it hard. Because just think how in your life you just prefer to do what? Enjoy your life, your family, your friends, your company, yourself. Whatever it is. Either way, it would be smooth sailing, right? If you could just do whatever it was that you was doing in the outside, situations, circumstances, people didn't invade or interfere with you or your situation or your life. I mean, just think about it. So, man, I say that all the time. I mean, and period, because shit's right. Like, I'm trying to tell you. I don't understand. So, it's either you can get with this or you can get with that. So, holding on to love in a world that fears it, like, how do you get around that? I mean, because that's to everybody, to each his own. Like, how do you feel about that? I feel like these are conversations that should be had, like, you know what I'm saying, with a group of people. Let's, kick it. And I got to make sure I put that question on the agenda for the next time that we actually do the group assignment with everybody, because I feel like some questions or some situations should definitely be asked amongst spiritual groups when people are healing and loving life, and you have kind of like grown. Because I told you I just had a conversation with my son, the youngest one, and it was very alarming. He basically is like, that's not, well, maybe that might just be him or maybe something they don't subscribe to. But the weird part is, y'all see, he come down here, he give me a hug all the time. So the boy know how to love. I hug my children. So it's strange to hear him say that, and it's also kind of sad. Because damn, you mean to tell me that the adults done fucked up love so bad that now the kids don't want it? Like, because that would be a direct, result of some shit that we did. And I don't want to be responsible for that, because you mean to tell me I would be a part of the generations that took love out of the world? Like, y'all ain't no way in hell y'all gonna get me to go in front of God and admit to that. Like, no way, Jose. We gotta fix it. We gotta fix it, son. Because ain't no way. Like, You mean to tell me that's where we are? So we have to bridge the worlds. You exist between realms, human and divine, seen and unseen. Your task is to bring heaven to earth through your consciousness. This is the reason why we gotta fix it, y'all. We gotta fix it, because if we are responsible for that, then that means everybody, is gonna crash and burn, because that would be our fault. So, hey, Kevin, let me see. I'm with you. Period. Kevin, how's your night going? Yeah, so that y'all, that would be crazy. I hope that ain't what we did. Because if that's what we did, that, like, I ain't do that. Because I'm still loving. Dissolve what's false, even when it costs you comfort. This is why you can't quit. Every time you try to go, okay, let me finish this. Because something just popped in my mind. Every time you try to go back to the normal, like where you think that your normal point is, where you can remember, like, y'all know nothing is never going to be normal ever again. Like, there is no normal. Like, every day it's a new something. Your spirit resists because the illusion feels too small for your expanded soul. Because we have to now think outside of the box. Because now this is something that we've never seen. It's something that we've never seen during our lifetime. But this has already happened already. And reincarnation means that we already seen it. So it's also maybe going back to a remembrance of the soul. So I seen this lady today, y'all. She gave me a power pack that was like freaking amazing. It was a black lady. I think I shared it. It was a black lady, a older lady, and she was talking about how she had some companies come out. They was looking at her pool, and she lives off the back of a lake too. And she said that the worker that came by, she was recording because she was doing a TikTok, and the worker, she caught him saying black people like live like this, and black people have this type of stuff. So, as you know, that went viral, right? And so she said she happened to had called a couple other different people, had got some estimates, but she had let that go. She said she hadn't even called the man's boss or none of that shit. She just told him to go off her property, that she didn't want to estimate from him. So anyway, long story short, she says she goes out, she looks outside, and there's some people working on whatever it was that she was asking for. She says she goes out there and she's like, what are y'all doing, with the tools? The owner of the company is now at her house fixing whatever it was that she was trying to get an estimate for free, because the owner, basically understands, like, he don't regulate. Either way, it was a beautiful story, and I think she was still doing a video for it. In the process. But the thing is, and the reason why I was about to say, exactly that is, um, everybody gets judged. Everybody gets judged based off of, whatever a person deems to think. Color, your sex, your height, your weight, that it could be so many different things, right? Because, people just have whatever it is that they have that they want to, fool with you over, right? And people don't understand how certain things impact certain people. You could be the reason why somebody takes themselves, off of this earth, or you could be the reason why somebody lives a little bit longer, right? So sometimes we, even good people fall into the get back. Like, I need to, get this, or retaliation or whatever. I don't want to call it that, because it's almost like you provoked me, and now, I get the bad label or the bad word, attached to me because you provoked me and I responded. But, either way, you know how I say we are this, so, whatever you come with is going to be what you get. Um, a lot of the times when they come with wrath and hate and kill, still destroy, we will, at first try to take the high road. We will try to take the high road. And even when we walking away, they may throw stones at the back of our heads and at the back of our necks and, everything else, cuss us out and da da da. And then most of the time we can kind of hold our ground and continue on walking away, right? But I'm sure we've also had that moment where you could be trying to walk away, and hey, Aaron, I love you. Thank you for being here. When you could be trying to walk away and you could be 10 steps gone, and then they come out of their face and say something real, real crazy. And in that instant, you make another decision. Mind you, that is the right decision. It gets made, right? And it gets handled appropriately, like, in all the ways y'all could, the best ways that y'all could ever think, like, hands was laid, walk them down, everything, whatever it was, right? And whereas the victor, because now they won't act like that, they won't do, and this could be anybody, so don't think I'm taking it as, this side or that side. It could be anybody. They get their ass handed to them in a way that, kind of learns them. Like, you don't do that. Like, just because you can do something don't mean that you should, because you can do this and then somebody else could do this, and this is the repercussions for, this. And, you know to the victor, everybody's like, hey, you handled your business, you did that right. And then to this person, now they will never ever do it again, because now they know how I feel, da 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 da. But then the person who now, you maybe turn around and come back to, go ahead and put that work on your ass. After you get sitting right, like, in the moment, it is everything vindicated, because you could be giving it all you got. Like, you could be giving 012 because you've been waiting. Like, they didn't know that, letting you walk away was going to be that blessing. But, okay, fuck it, you had to be the one. When they get to where they, home, peaceful, sitting down, all that adrenaline stops, those people normally feel bad for having to do what they did to you. Like, don't get it fucked up. They still be proud that they beat your ass on sight. But, damn, I was, this close to walking away. But technically, I feel also vindicated, because you will never do that again, because now you learned a lesson that, free will's a thing for everybody. You have free will to do what you, but choosing the right thing could have just been the right thing, which is, also the moral of the story. You could have not have been that. You could have understood the assignment before it came to that. You were never here to fit in. You were here to reveal what's real, even if it means outgrowing everything that once defined you. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, because how many of y'all feel the same as before? Like, but a different version. Like, it feels almost foreign, because, take it for instance, I'm gonna just say to y'all, I feel like everything is new, everything is wondrous, everything is, because whatever the fuck happened, like, I'm just thankful to be here. I'm just glad to be here, because, that could have been my last day. And then I wouldn't even be sitting here in front of y'all right now. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just thankful to be here, because life is great. I get to experience new stuff. I don't really want to waste that on a bunch of bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So to me, like, a lot of stuff that I'm seeing, I could get real bored with real quick, because, again, I have a new lease on life. I went through something very traumatic, and whether or not anybody else deems it as traumatic, like, people don't understand. Like, people say, oh, my love different. And because I know my love different, and because I know how I felt about that situation, somebody else may say, you should get over that quick. Well, my love says, it was real. And although, I don't want that back and anything else, the point of it is it was real enough to say, just be happy. Just be happy, right? A lot of people don't want to say that. A lot of people would rather you die before, they allow you to, like, go and be happy elsewhere. Mind you, you never even had to allow anything. My happiness was never under your allowance. But some people think they control everything about you, so take it how it resonates. That's why you out-evolved their illusion. That's why their old stories fall apart when you vibrate, when your vibration shifts. Your assignment is continuous because evolution doesn't have an ending point, only new levels of remembrance. You don't finish it, you become it. You have to continue on the journey. Like I said, the only number one rule to Earth School is don't die. Like, you can come back from anything, you can fix anything. Like, I mean, maybe they might figure out how to fix death too, but I don't know. So, from where I'm sitting, just don't do that. Because at least you get a, fresh day tomorrow to do something else. So, before your incarnation, your soul existed in full awareness, pure consciousness, connected to source. In that state, you can see a bigger picture, the lesson that you wanted to learn, the energies that you wanted to transmute, and the light that you intended to anchor into this dimension. So the cycles, the roles that you play. What role are you playing right now? Like, it could be dad, it could be, mom, it could be sister, it could be brother, it could be husband, wife, cousin, lover, friend. You could be playing all of them. You can be playing all of those roles. And can you just imagine having to play all of those roles, dealing with all of them energies, all of them different people, all of them different circumstances, all of them different situations, and still having to locate and learn yourself on this mission? That's a lot. And most of the time we always put, the little ones first. So if there's any children around, you put them first. Little brothers, little sisters, the little people, you normally tend to put them first. Then you put, the people who can't help themselves, elderly, da 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 da, the weak, da 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 da, your parents. It's normally a order, right? And it's funny because now I remember my brother said something to me one time, and he called me and he asked me, what order would your spouse, I think he said, would your spouse be upset to know the order that you would put them in if, like, they, something about in order to save them or something? And so I have to ask him again. So would your spouse be the first person that you would save? And the crazy part about this situation is that how many of y'all and how many people that like, you know what I mean? We just speculating here. But how many people do you know that, have a spouse, husband, girlfriend, da 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 da, and then just think about the relationship that they have with, any other people that could potentially be around? How many people do you think that they would save their spouse before they would save somebody else? And the crazy part is even when he said it, we laughed about it, but at the time, it was always more important people. Like, maybe you would save the kids, maybe you would save the grandkid, maybe you would save your mama first, maybe you would save, but would they be upset or offended to know that? But even furthermore, how even the plane, trains, and automobiles, they say when you get in a crash, guess who the first person they tell you to save? Yourself. Mind you, we don't be thinking about that. We be thinking about everything else. Like, we will go fearless, gun-ho into a situation. We will risk death, what they call it, whatever it is, we will risk that to get to those, situations or those people or whatever. Meanwhile, the lesson that we should be learning, or the lesson that we end up learning in, the long run, is save yourself. It's because true master, save yourself, and inadvertently in the process of that, when you are a true leader, saving yourself, you'll be saving everybody else. It's almost like when we talked about before, when we did the heist, right, in the last movie thing we did. And remember, I said everybody was being dispersed all over the place, right? And so it was certain people that was going to London, it was certain people that was going to France, it was certain people that was going to, but the initial, how it started off was, we performed a heist here, and then everybody had to disperse because we was trying to make sure that we was able to keep the money, but we was going to link up later on. Y'all remember that? And then it was a whole lot of stuff that kept coming up about, you know, Alexandria or Alexander the Great. But then it was also given, what's that, well, I was saying Land of the Lost. It wasn't Land of the Lost, it was Mad Max. Mad Max desert vibes. But anyway, it was a little bit strange because it was like a whole lot going on, and then but it all seemed like it worked out. Um, but needless to say, everybody got dispersed all over the planet, and it was codes. Like if do you remember? Hey, Felicia, welcome. Thank you for being here. And I don't know, like them, why people are talking like that and never knew nothing, but okay. Well, so when we was talking about Felicia the heist, it was all everybody that was in the chat. Everybody was on assignment. It was a person that, because everything linked together, right? And so, which is how life kind of actually works. And it was talking about how, you know, 6 degrees of separation or whatever. But in between the heist that was happening, it was showing how it was different lives. Everybody came together to collectively, you know, do this job, but then it was different aspects of what Kevin saw, what Majestic Grace saw, what Aaron saw. Like everybody had their own part to play, so everybody had their own little, you know, script. But so it was like collectively, you know, still working together, but everybody had to get to where they needed to get to by themselves. And so there was code words along the way because, as y'all know, the language was being changed. And so once the language started to be changed, um, the people was trying to crack the code, but they couldn't crack the code because we kept shifting, you know, everybody from this place to this place to that place, and it kind of, you know, threw everybody off. But it made sense in the grand scheme of things because what had happened was the heist started to overlap. Either way, take it how it resonates. But when you ask why didn't I know, it's because true mastery comes from remembering what you already knew through choice, compassion, and contrast. Sometimes it's almost like, you know how you have you drive the same pathway, maybe to home, work, school, wherever, right? And some days you just look up and you're there. You don't know, you don't know if you stopped to a street light. You don't even remember like the whole scenic route along the way. All you know is you done went from this point to this point, and you're questioning like, how the fuck did I just do that? Meanwhile, it was so much other stuff that was happening in between. So if you remember every detail from the start, then there would be no free will, no discovery, no deep embodiment. The power of awakening lies in realizing, wait, this truth has been inside me all along. It's almost like, you know, when they say the epiphany moment, like, damn, now this makes a whole lot more sense. Because when this starts to happen, remember I said catching the loops, you automatically know, like when we just went into a reset, right? We went into a reset. All of a sudden, all these people started, you know, moving around the chess pieces, and this people went to here, this, that, and third. And like, probably less than 32 days, 6 months, 3 months, you're going to start to see another something start to happen. There's going to be a lot of arguments and a bunch of weird shit that starts to take place. But it's the cycle. It's because everybody's moving around, and then they'll say, oh, well, I'm meant to be with such and such. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's just, you know, distraction on the grand scheme of things, because I need you to be complacent, and I need you to be sitting here tied to this bullshit and not focused on really what you're supposed to be doing. So, yes, you agreed. All right. You agreed awakening in the dark to find the light by feeling what it's like to forget. You agree to evolve beyond delusion, not beyond being told the assignment, but by becoming the one who recognizes it. Recognizing the patterns that you go through, people, places, and things, your family members. What pattern, because I just told y'all, don't let the reset affect you. Something else is about to happen. Did you pass the assignment? So somebody else trying you in a way that you already said, I was going to say no to these people when they showed up. I already said I was going to say yes. I already said that, I was going to do something completely different than what I did last time. So it's almost giving like the vibe, like, you got this one person in the family, they show up and it's almost like they belittle you every time. And you wondering why this person don't realize you're a grown full ass adult, and you also wonder why this person don't realize just because they are elder in the family, you'll cuss they ass the fuck out. But you have been being respectful this whole entire time. But this person is disrespectful. Everybody in the family know it. So this time they say what they gonna say, and everybody jaws drop because of the fact that not only did you stand up for yourself in a very respectful way, but you laid down the law and let them know that everybody already been sick and tired of their ass. Everybody just been afraid to say something to them, but here and now that need to stop. Just because you used to something don't make it right. Just because something has been a perpetual cycle over and over and over again, and you have just been allowed to get away with certain things, it's not cool. This is the reason why people can't get along now, because you keep showing up and wanting to fuck up the family functions. Take it how it resonates. Now everybody looking at you like, oh, you the one. Like, you the one, because ain't nobody ever check Aunt Becky, because Aunt Becky would just be like, da-da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, you put her in her damn place, because what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, being elderly or being old, like, that's an excuse, but it's not really an excuse for bad behavior. Like, come on now, let's be reasonable. But sometimes they be expecting you just not to say anything. But like I said, it's a way to say something to a person that is very respectful, because I know you old as fuck, but and I said already before, it is a thing where everybody's being disrespectful, like, on this side and on that side. So, Majestic Grace said me. So say goodnight to the bad guy. Well, it's not even being the bad guy. Like, that's what everybody gonna look at it about. But everybody already been wanting to say something to her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all look at the sisters and everybody like, get your sister. They be like, no, that's just such and such, bitch. This is not the way, man. We gonna have to, nip this behavior in the bud, because we don't want to keep passing this down generation to generation to generation. We want people to understand that it has to, respect goes both ways. The younger generation and the older generation. Respect goes both ways. And so, of course, we want to respect you because you are an elder. We definitely want to do that. We never want to, because I was taught not, like, listen, you are not allowed to disrespect your elders. But also, the elders got to be respectful. The elders have to be respectful. You just can't be out here doing shit and, thinking that you're going to get a pass because you old. No. You should know better because you old. So take it how it resonates. Either way, Pisces, the assignment they never told you about, and you can't quit. You out-evolved their illusion. So it's growing up. It's adulting. It's adulting on a whole nother level. Adulting on the angelic realm. Your assignment may involve turning emotional pain into wisdom. You might have been born. Okay, so I don't know why I did that. You might have been born into situations that force you to feel deeply. Abandonment, betrayal, misunderstanding. Not as a punishment, but as a training. Because, it's always the thing when they say you have to go through the worst things. But what about when you may have gone through some of that, but not really as much as, with other people? Does that mean that your assignment is not as great or as grand as others? No. There may be different ways that your assignment, is going to play out. But it wasn't a punishment, it was a training. Through feeling everything, you learn compassion. So, there's a thing about compassion, though. First of all, let me get the whole full meaning, though, because let me All right, so the meaning of compassion, because I want to say something, and before I say it, I want to make sure that we know that what it means. Um, at its deepest level, compassion means feeling with, not feeling for. Feeling with, not feeling for, right? And so the phrase that I want to say is people be trying to take your kindness for weakness. People be trying to think that because you have feelings, about their situation, feeling with, not feeling for. I think they be getting it fucked up or misconstrued, or they be, that's where they be thinking or I don't know, that's where they be having me fucked up at. At its deepest level, compassion means feeling with, not feeling for. So, yeah. Do we got it? Okay, so maybe not. Compassion is an open-hearted awareness of another being's pain without turning away. You sense their emotion, but instead of drawing it in, you hold space for healing to happen. It's love in action, calm, kind, and courageous. All right, so this may have been something. So today, something happened to come across my screen, and before it even started to settle or sizzle in my spirit, I had to turn because it's certain things that I just can't. And I know I should have like listened to it to get the full extent of it, but as soon as it started, it literally, so it was a story about a 5-year old or something, that mom had to go to work or something or another, and all I saw was that whoever, I don't even know if it was the people that she got left with, they did some, I turned because literally I don't know, something in me, I feel like it enrages me, and Dexter is a real, should be real, or was real, or I understand Dexter because that's fucking crazy. And in my mind, it just makes me think like what goes on in the brain of, but then you don't want to know that because then maybe you like them, but in my mind, what the hell is wrong? So from the highest view, compassion is felt in God consciousness expressed through human form. It's the awareness that all beings are learning, all evolving, in every experience, even the painful ones, is a part of the awakening process. When you embody compassion, you align with divine will. You become a vessel for the love that heals the world. And again, we still talking about love that heals the world when we have all been under conditioned love. And so I feel like also another loop is figuring out what that is, with the full extent of the, I want to say repercussions, or what the, I don't know what the word is, but what that causes. Because maybe somebody put a study on it, maybe somebody didn't, but in my mind, I feel like with the way things are going, and again, if we are the culprits and the cause of love being taken out of the world, we are in trouble. Okay? So, either way, hopefully that message helped. And Pisces, the assignment they never told you about, and you can't quit, you out evolved their illusion. Kudos to us. I mean, to the collective, period. Because not for nothing, the fact that we can see it, we can say it, we can talk about it, means that we're evolving outside of, what they thought we ever would. But again, I keep saying we had better shit before. So something about it tells me that there's so much more growth and so many more levels that we can kind of hit that, well, for me, it came across as financial manipulation. I mean, I'm sure it's so much stuff that, I mean, man, even when I think about it, because y'all, it's fucked up that now my brain even feels sad for people who are victimizing people, because in my mind, it makes me wonder what happened to you. And I don't know if I even have time for or really want to feel that level of compassion for anybody, because in my mind I feel like you did this, you know, but maybe that's also evolving as well. But still, why are you doing the most ungodliest, weirdest, randomest, craziest? What the fuck is in your brain? And so, you know, I said I wasn't judging, but on that I was judging, because you know, to me, you should know better. Um, I don't know, y'all. Just random stuff been happening, and I just feel like stay is the word diligent or vigilant, whatever it is. Stay that right, because kill, still destroy. There's so many tactics they use, and you ain't never lied. Period. Kill, steal, and destroy. So I love y'all, and you know, enjoy life. Like for real, if not for nothing after this, if you know, already got yourself washed up, bathed up, all that, if you haven't done that, do that. Just sit and enjoy the water, enjoy the tub, enjoy the shower. If you ain't had you a cup of coffee, cup of tea, I'll be drinking coffee before I go to bed. Don't ask me why, because I go right the fuck to sleep. But literally, like, just enjoy whatever this moment is, because just think about this. You know, another movie script, right? The day that the world ends. So that night, you know, we was here, right now. And, you know, we gave the best message that we could give, you know, the assignment they never told us about, that we couldn't quit. You out evolved their illusion. So then fuck around and find out that 4 o'clock in the morning, bombs hit, right? All of a sudden. And, you know, everything is being toppled. You wake up, it's fucking shit shaking, every damn thing, right? This night was the last peaceful night you was ever gonna have. If this night was the last peaceful night you was ever gonna have, you would actually probably do it in a whole different way. And so just think of it that way. Okay, in the morning, 4 o'clock a.m., nothing is going to be the same ever again. And so from this point on, you are now outside of your comfort zone. There is no more warm, tingly ass house. It is now you got to figure out how to get from one side of the country to the next side of the country, because they saying the only safety zone is da 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 here. And, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? At this point in time, you don't want that to be the extreme, but that is the extreme. Because not for nothing, there's people who wake up like that right now. People wake up like that right now on this timeline. People are actually walking around in streets that are toppled with smoke in the air. And the crazy part about that is when I even seen that the people was walking around, you know, with the buildings toppled and smoke in the air, all that made me think was, how long is that smoke going to take to get here? Because if we all live on the same earth, that smoke is traveling all through earth. That's what it made me think. So it's almost like the little filter, you know what I'm saying? Like, where is the filter? The filter's supposed to be the trees, this, that, and third, but we done already seen how much shit is piling up around here. Like, it's just dusty as fuck. So there's so many things that, again, the world is so wondrous, because on one hand, it would probably be, you know, terrifying to see some shit like that, but also very much amazing. Imagine standing in a place. So, you know, again, another weird thought, because the people that's living there probably is like, bitch, that's not, you know, a sight to see. You ain't never seen it. But, you know, that could be somebody else's reality tomorrow. And then you would have appreciated being in your nice, warm ass, cushy ass bed with some nice, clean, like, warm blankets. And tonight would feel and look a whole lot different. You see what I'm saying? And I told y'all about the time, that one time that I ended up going to work, waking up first thing in the morning, and we ended up being detoured. We was like a couple minutes right down the street from where I was getting ready to deliver. They ended up having to reroute us, and we were the first truck there. Mind you, I got to turn around this big ass 18-wheeler in the middle of the road, but mind you, right in front of me, early morning, there's a body stretched out in the road with a white sheet laid over top of them. That person did not think that when they rushed out of their house that morning, that they was never going to make it to work and never make it home that night. So to me, I feel like even with those thought processes being in your brain, it's another reason for you to live your life the full and complete way you wish to. People gonna have a whole lot of shit to say. And that's another reason why, like I said all the time, when you love a person, whatever they doing in life, if that's what they feel like they need to be doing, let them do that. You don't have to be tied to it. You do not have to be tied to it. But at the end of the day, like, it's not even about allowing a person to be or do anything. It's about, it's free will. This is what they wish to do. Love them. Love the fact that they happy, even if it's not something that you wanted to do. Love them the fact that they happy. If it puts a smile on their face, good. But don't also let people play with you, just so you know. So it has to be boundaries made and designed in all things. And it's not about punishing nobody for, none of the things. It's also, you have to protect your peace as well. So we are not revolving doors for anybody. Be mindful of that. So be very clear on what I'm saying to you. We are not here to be put as servants for no damn body. Kids, husband, state, nobody. You're here to learn your journey, finish whatever it is your soul is feeling, and whatever's gonna get you to wherever it is you deem to think you're going to after this joint. Either way, the assignment they never told you about and you can't quit. You out evolved their illusion. Kudos to you. I love y'all and happy Monday. We finished this thing out strong like we said this morning. And that's it. That's all. I hope y'all rest peacefully, okay?